Osho, The Messiah, Volume 2, Reflections on Khalil Gibran's The Prophet, given at the Osho Commune International, Pune, India. Discourse number 10.
Commentaries by Bhagwan Sri Rajneesh on Khalil Gibran's The Prophet. Beloved Bhagwan, and one of the elders of the city said, "Speak to us of good and evil." And he answered, "Of the good in you I can speak, but not of the evil. For what is evil but good, tortured by its own hunger and thirst? Verily, when good is hungry, it seeks food even in dark caves, and when it thirsts, it drinks even of dead waters. You are good when you are one with yourself. Yet when you are not one with yourself, you are not evil. For a divided house is not a den of thieves, it is only a divided house. And a ship without rudder may wander aimlessly among perilous isles, yet sink not to the bottom. You are good when you strive to give of yourself, yet you are not evil when you seek gain for yourself. For when you strive for gain, you are but a root that clings to the earth and sucks at her breast. Surely the fruit cannot say to the root, 'Be like me, ripe and full, and ever giving of your abundance.' For to the fruit giving is a need, as receiving is a need to the root."
And one of the elders of the city said, "Speak to us of good and evil." Each single word uttered by Khalil Gibran has to be understood in its all implications. Why the elders of the city said, "Why not a young man? Why not a child?" The child is so innocent, he does not know the distinction between good and evil. Hence the question does not arise. To the child, there is nothing good and nothing evil. It is out of ignorance, but it has a similarity with the ultimate state of a man who is awakened. For him too, there is no good, no evil. The awakened one has come back to his childhood again with a difference, with a great difference. The child was ignorant, the awakened one is really innocent. And the demarcation between ignorance and innocence is very fine. Jesus said to Nicodemus, a professor of Judaism in the University of Jerusalem, that unless you are born again, you will not understand what I am saying. He is not saying that first you have to die. And be born through another womb. He is saying, unless you are so transformed that your ignorance becomes innocence. That is true rebirth. And only then you will understand what I am saying. The child cannot ask because he cannot make distinctions. And the awakened one will not ask because he knows that good and evil are two sides of the same coin. If you choose good, you have also chosen the evil. And this is one of the great miseries of all the religions and their saints. They have chosen the good and repressed the evil. Because of this division, they themselves have become divided and split. And not only they have become divided and split, they have made the whole humanity schizophrenic. So it is significant that a child does not ask the question. It is also significant that a young man does not ask the question. Because for the young, life is so absorbing and the song of life is so fulfilling. And his heart is beating with love. He has no time to think about good and evil. Only the elders and the elders are those who have spent all their energies, who are empty. They have nothing to do. The child was full of wonder. The youth was full of love. But the old man has lost all. Neither his eyes have any wonder because he is so knowledgeable. Nothing surprises him. And he has seen that every love slowly turns into hate. He is living but an empty life. And these empty people become very much concerned about judgment. They cannot do anything themselves, but at least sitting in their rocking chairs, they can judge about everybody who is good, who is bad, who is a sinner and who is a saint. This is their way of somehow feeling more important than the young then the children. The children are ignorant, the young are blind, only the old think they have got eyes because they have lived the life, they have experienced everything. But just experiencing everything does not make one wise. Because one of the most important criterion for a wise man is that he drops judgment. He can see in the good that the evil is lying. He can see in the evil that the good is present. The saint and the sinner are not different categories. Just their choices are different, but they have chosen from the same well. From where good comes, evil comes. And whatever you choose, you will suffer. Choice brings suffering. If you choose good, then that which is evil in you will continuously create a conflict, a repentance, a doubt, perhaps. Those who have chosen the evil are enjoying life, and I have chosen good, and all that it has given to me is just a seriousness, a dryness. The saint cannot smile, the saint cannot dance. He is afraid. The song may lead him towards the evil. The dance may lead him towards that which he has renounced. But just by renouncing, you cannot get rid of things. They remain in your unconscious, waiting for their opportunity. Hence, it has happened many times in history. A sinner has become a saint just in a single moment of understanding. And a so-called saint has fallen and become a sinner just in a single moment. Of unawareness. A beautiful story is said about a disciple of Gautam Buddha. He was a young monk, very healthy, very beautiful, very cultured. He has come just like Gautam Buddha from another royal family, renouncing the kingdom. In the West, just as Cleopatra is thought to be the most beautiful woman in the whole past of humanity. In the East, A parallel woman to Cleopatra is Amrapali. She was a contemporary of Gautam Buddha. She was so beautiful that it was always golden chariots standing on the gate of her palace. Even great kings had to wait to meet her. And she was only a prostitute. But she could purchase kingdoms. She had become so rich. But deep down she suffered. In that beautiful body, there was also a beautiful soul which hankered for love. And when a man comes to buy the body of a woman, she may pretend great love for him because he has paid for it. But deep down she hates him because he is using her as a thing, as an object, purchasable. He is not respecting her as a human being. And the greatest hurt and the wound that can happen to anybody is when you are treated as a dead thing and your integrity, your individuality is humiliated. This young monk went into the city for begging, not knowing he passed through so many chariots of gold, beautiful horses. He was amazed. Who lives in this palace? As he looked upwards, Amrapali was looking from the window, and for the first time, love arose in her heart. For the simple reason, because the moment the young monk saw Amrapali, he bowed down to her with deep respect. Such beauty has to be respected, not to be used. It is a great gift of existence to be appreciated, but not to be humiliated. At the moment this young, beautiful monk bowed down, suddenly a great upsurge of energy happened into Amrapali. For the first time, somebody has looked at her with eyes of respect. Somebody has given him for the first time dignity of being a human being. She ran down, touched the feet of the monk and said, "Don't go anywhere else. Today be my guest." He said, "I am a bhikkhu, a beggar. In your great palace, where so many kings are waiting in queue to meet you. It won't look good. She said, forget all about those kings. I hate them. But don't say no to my invitation. Because for the first time I have given the invitation. I have been invited thousands of times by kings and emperors. I have never invited anybody. Don't hurt me. This is my very first invitation. Have your food with me. The monk agreed. Other monks were coming behind him because Buddha used to move with 10,000 monks wherever he went. They could not believe their eyes that a young monk is going in the house of the prostitute. With great jealousy, anger, they returned back to Gautam Buddha. With one voice they said, this man has to be expelled from the commune. He has broken all your discipline. Not only he bowed down to a prostitute, he has even accepted her invitation to go into her palace and have his food there. Buddha said, let him come. For the first time, Amrapali herself served food into the bowl of the monk. Tears of joy. And she said, can I ask a favor? The young monk said, I don't have anything except myself. If it is in my capacity, I will do anything you want to do. She said, nothing has to be done. The season of rains is going to start within 2-3 days. And this was the rule of Buddhist monks, that in the rainy season they stopped in one place for 4 months. Eight months in the year they were continuously moving from one place to another. But for 4 months of rains, it was absolutely necessary for them to stay somewhere where they can get a shelter. Amrapali said, the coming 4 months, this palace should be your shelter. I don't ask anything. I will not disturb you in any way. I will make everything as comfortable as possible for you. but don't go. These 4 months the monk said, I have to ask my master. If he allows me, I will stay. If he does not allow me, you will have to forgive me. It is not in my hands. It is my master who decides where one has to stay. He came back. Everybody was angry, jealous, and they were all waiting that Gautam Buddha is going to punish him. And Buddha asked, tell me the whole thing, what happened? He said everything. He also said that Amrapali, he did not use the word prostitute. That is a judgment. You have already condemned a woman by the very word that she sells her body, that she sells her love, that her love is a commodity. If you have money, you can purchase it. He said, Amrapali has invited me for the coming rainy season, and I have told her, if my master allows me, I will stay in your palace. It does not matter. There was great silence in 10,000 monks. Nobody had thought that Gautam Buddha will say that you are allowed to stay with Amrapali. They could not believe their own ears, what they are hearing. A monk who has renounced the world is going to stay 4 months in the house of a prostitute. One old monk stood up and he said, this is not right. This man is hiding a fact. He says, one woman, Amrapali, has invited me. She is not a woman, she is a prostitute. Gautam Buddha said, I know. And because he has not used the word prostitute, I am allowing him to stay there. He has respect. No judgment. No condemnation. He does not want to stay himself. That's why he has come here to ask the master. If you ask me to stay there, I will not allow you. Another monk asked that it is a strange decision. We will lose our monk. That woman is not an ordinary woman, but an enchantress. This man, in 4 months, will be completely lost to the virtuous life, the good life, the life of a saint. After 4 months, he will come as a sinner. Gautam Buddha said, after 4 months, you will be here, I will be here, let us see what happens. Because I trust in his meditations and I trust in his insight. Preventing him will be distrusting him. He trusts me, otherwise there was no need to come. You could have thrown the begging bowl and remained there. I understand him and I know his consciousness. This is a good opportunity, a fire test. What happens? Just wait for 4 months. Those 4 months for the monks were very long. Each day was going so slowly, and they were imagining what must be happening. They were dreaming in their nights what will be happening. And after 4 months, the monk came back with a beautiful woman following him. And he said to Buddha, she is Amrapali. She wants to be initiated into the commune. I recommend her. She is a unique woman. Not only that she is beautiful, she has the soul as pure as you can conceive. She fell into Gautam Buddha's feet. This was even a bigger shock to those 10,000 people. And Buddha said to them, I know these 4 months have been very long and you have suffered much. Day in, day out, your mind was only thinking what is happening between the monk and the Amrapali. He must have been fallen in love with the woman, gone down the drain. 4 months will pass, the rains will stop, but he will not return. With what face? But you see, when a man of consciousness enters in the house of a prostitute, it is the prostitute that changes, not the man of consciousness. It is always the lower that goes through transformation when it comes in contact with the higher. The higher cannot be dragged down. Her name Amrapali means she had the biggest mango grove, perhaps 100 square miles. And she presented that to Gautam Buddha. It was the most beautiful place and she presented her palace, all her immense resources, for the spread of the message of Buddha. Buddha said to his Sangha, to his commune, that if you are afraid to be in company with a prostitute, that fear has nothing to do with prostitute. That fear is coming from your own unconscious, because you have repressed your sexuality. If you are clean, then all judgment disappears. So the awakened has no judgments, what is good and what is bad. And the child has no judgment, because he cannot make the distinction, he has no experience. In this sense, it is true that every awakened person becomes a child again. Not ignorant, but innocent. Every old person is not an awakened being. It should be so. If life has been lived rightly, with alertness, with joy, with silence, with understanding, you not only grow old, you also grow up. And these are two different processes. Everybody grows old, but everybody does not grow up. Growing up is a spiritual phenomenon. Growing old is a physical thing. Your body grows old, but your being remains retarded. If your being also grows up, and remember the difference, we cannot say that the being grows old. It never grows old. It only grows up, higher and higher. But it always remains young, fresh as the dewdrops in the early morning sun on the lotus leaf. And one of the elders of the city said, "Speak to us of good and evil." The old people, if they have not grown up also, are a torture to their whole family. To the children, to the youth, because everything that you are doing, you can see condemnation in their eyes. live with old people who have not grown up is a tremendous strain. Whatever you do is going to be judged as if you are always standing in a court. You cannot argue with them because that is an insult of old age. Even to speak before your elders has been condemned by all societies. In the parables of Aesop, there is a beautiful small parable. A very young kid of sheep is drinking water in a mountainous stream, crystal clear water. A lion sees the kid and naturally feels happy that this is a good chance for a beautiful breakfast. So he also comes close and he says to the kid that you seem to be very arrogant and stubborn. The kid said, I have not even said a single word. I have not done anything. He said, you have not done anything. You are destroying the water, polluting it, disturbing the mud. And I am going to drink the water. And you don't have any respect for the king of all the animals. The kid said, Uncle, you have forgotten one thing, that the stream is not flowing towards you, it is going downwards. So if anything is disturbed, it is not coming to you. Whatever you will do, that will come to me. The lion was very angry because the kid seems to be too logical. And nobody wants one's breakfast to be so logical. He said, you are not only stubborn, but you are trying to be very intellectual. He said, I am a poor sheep. How I can be intellectual? You are the king. He said, forget all about king and sheep. What about your father who insulted me yesterday? He said, it must be somebody else because my father has died almost 3 weeks before. To say the truth, you killed my father 3 weeks before. So how he can insult you yesterday? Now this was too much. He said, you don't understand tradition, courtesy. That elders should be respected. You should not open your mouth. And he got hold of the kid. He said, unnecessarily you wasted so much time. I knew it from the very beginning that it is your breakfast time. There was no need to rationalize it, just have your breakfast. My mother, you have eaten, my father, you have eaten. I am an orphan, in trouble. It is better that you eat me too. At least inside you I will meet my father and mother. A family reunion. The whole humanity for centuries has been repressing the children, the youth, and even if the old man is an idiot, his old age has to be respected. This kind of question can come only from an old man who has not grown up. He is asking a clarity about what is good and what is evil, so that he can judge people more easily. In their eyes, everything you do is wrong. Because they are spent forces, they cannot do anything. Everything that you are doing, they have done, and they still want to do, but they are spent forces, they cannot do anything. But at least they can have the joy of condemning you. All the saints who have condemned people that they will go to hell are not saints, but only sinners who have covered their sins, or their desires and longings for sins with a thin layer of saintliness. And what kind of saintliness? I was traveling with a Hindu monk, a very famous Hindu monk. We were going to participate in a conference. You can see in his eyes, everything is wrong. When we sat in the car to go to the airport, I was amazed that on a beautiful car seat, his cloth on which he used to sit is put. Unless that cloth was put on the car seat, he remained standing. Then he went in and sat on his cloth. I said, this is strange. The seat was far better. Your cloth is dirty. You go on sitting on it everywhere. He used to carry it in a bundle. The seat was clean. He said, I cannot sit on a car seat. I am against all luxury. He said, this is great. You are sitting in a car, in a luxurious car, and just because you have put a small cloth piece between you and the seat, so I am going to hell and you are going to heaven, just because of that dirty seat that you are sitting on. He was such a nuisance. All saints are nuisance. Wherever we were staying, he created so much trouble. He needs only cow's milk. He does not eat anything else. That is not a big trouble. But the cow must be completely white. When I heard it, I said, what do you mean? Are you going to eat the cow? Are you going to drink the milk? Milk is always white. Whether the cow is black or white, it does not make any change. He said, you don't understand. Black symbolizes evil. White symbolizes good. So for him, people had to search a white cow, completely white, not even a dot, a patch. He will remain without food. The whole family is disturbed that a great saint is sitting without food, and everybody is running around the town to find a pure white cow, which is very rare. I said, you are creating so much nuisance, and you are making all these people so tortured that because you have not eaten, they have not eaten. How the host can eat when a great saint is the guest and is hungry? These are the thin layers, stupid, arbitrary, meaningless, which one goes on covering upon his real desires, longings, which he condemns. And I have found this, the more a person condemns something, it shows the more he is obsessed with it. Look into your religious scriptures. They have been written by saints, great sages. But whatever they condemn in such detail. Just looking into their condemnation, you can feel that they are enjoying the condemnation. They have not been able to enjoy things, at least they can enjoy condemning it and condemning all those who are enjoying, and enjoy the idea that all these people will suffer in hell. Every family in the world is tortured by the old people. My own suggestion is that the moment a man becomes retired, he should be retired from the family too. Every town, city must have beautiful houses where old men, old women live together with lawns, trees, with waterfalls. And you will be surprised that those old fools who were condemning the young people will start falling in love. Because love never dies, never becomes old. It is always there, young in you. These old people are torturing the young because before their own children, children's children, they cannot start meddling with some old woman. That will look very awkward. Leave them alone, and soon they will forget that they are old, and they will live longer, and they will not be so irritable. They will become happy people. Just as we send children to the hostels to study and come home when they have passed their university examinations, that is 1/3 of life, 25 years at least. Then 25 years allow them to live in the world, work in the world, and when they get retired, again back to the hostel. And not a hostel where men are separate and women are separate. A mixed hostel. And you will be surprised that your old pop is looking so happy. He never used to be so smiling. When once in a while he comes home, he is always bringing a fresh breeze in the house. Something strange is happening. Nothing strange is happening. He has fallen again in love with an old woman. And there is nothing wrong in it. Love should be your life to the very last breath. But up to now, we have been keeping generations together, 3 generations, 4 generations together, under one roof. Hence the generation gap. They are not even on talking terms. They talk only when it is business, when it is absolutely necessary. Otherwise they avoid each other. This is an ugly arrangement. A right arrangement will be children should be in school, girls and boys together, so they become acquainted with each other. The more they know each other, the better is the possibility for finding the partner in their life. Do you see the stupid idea? If you want to purchase a car, you look into all the catalogs of all the cars. You go to a showroom to look which car will be suitable to you. You just don't fall in love any car that comes by. That I have fallen in love with a Ford. And then next day you see a Rolls Royce. Now there is trouble. The Ford will not allow you to look at the Rolls Royce. The Ford will say, close the windows and look ahead. It would have been better that you had seen all the cars and then chosen one. And that's what we do about everything, except the most important thing, a partner, your wife, your husband. You just blindly fall into love without bothering that there are millions of women, millions of men around, and soon you are going to come to somebody who is far more beautiful, far more intelligent, far more loving. Then you will suffer. Children should live in mixed hostels. Then young people should live in mixed hostels. Then finally, the last stage of our schooling, the old people should live in the best possible places where they can play golf, go on for horse riding, swimming pools, forests, mountains, and they will again become young. At least 10 years will be added to their life, and they will be more understanding, because they will see even now love arises in their heart. So if their young son has fallen in love with someone, nothing is wrong in it. It is just the way of life. It is how existence wants it to be. But the old people have always been concerned what is good and what is evil. Al-Mustafa answered, of the good in you I can speak, but not of the evil. This is such a pregnant statement. With so much meaning and significance. That if you understand it, your whole approach about people, judgment will change. Al-Mustafa says, the good in you I can speak, but not of the evil. Why? Because evil is nothing but an absence of good. And what you can speak about absence? It is like darkness. You can speak about light, but you cannot speak about darkness. In the first place, darkness does not exist. It is only an absence. Just bring a candle in and it is no more there. And very beautiful statements he makes on it. For what is evil but good, tortured by its own hunger and thirst? Darkness is hunger for light. It is thirsty for light. because it is empty. And so is the situation about good and evil. They are not two things. Good has a positive existence. The sinner is only in search of being a saint. Don't condemn him. He is groping in dark. Help him. Don't go on giving judgments and punishments to him, that you will be thrown into hell. The poor man is trying every way to find out where the light is. So if you go to a religious teacher, he will tell you, fight the evil. And when you have crushed the evil, you will be good. And this is the complete wrong approach, which has destroyed the whole humanity and all its joy. If you come to a master, he will say, don't fight with the evil, because that is wasting your energy. Fighting with the darkness, you cannot create light. Search for the light. Create light, and darkness will disappear. This is the difference between the so-called religious teachers of all the religions, without exception. They are telling you, destroy the evil. And you cannot destroy it. Anything which is just an absence cannot be destroyed. If I say to you, go into your room and destroy the darkness, fight with it, wrestle with it, take a sword and cut its head, most probably you will cut your own head. In darkness, fighting with nobody, an old definition of a philosopher is a man in the darkest night, in a dark house, blind, is looking for a black cat which is not there. Now, if everyone is frustrated that black cat you cannot find, you have never bothered that you are blind, you have never bothered that the house is dark, that the night is dark, but the search goes on and on. Evil is that black cat that does not exist. That's why Al-Mustafa says from the very beginning, I will speak of the good in you, but not of the evil. Such great insights Khalil Gibran brings to life. For what is evil but good tortured by its own hunger and thirst? The implications of this statement are great. every child is born good. No child is born as Ronald Reagan or Adolf Hitler or Joseph Stalin. But what happens? These people have tried. Adolf Hitler wanted to be first a painter. No school of painting accepted him because he was not a great painter. My understanding is, if he wanted to be a painter, he may have been amateurish in the beginning. The chance was given. He may not have become a genius, a Picasso, but he would have become at least a good painter. And the Second World War would have been avoided. 6 million people would not have been killed. When rejected from the schools of painting, he started thinking to become an architect. Again refused. It seems we accept only flowers, not seeds. Our insight is so shallow that we cannot see the flower in the seed. And every educational system is criminal in this sense. They want you to come as a flower, fully grown, fragrant, you will be accepted. But why a flower should come to you? It is the seed who is tortured inside, wants to grow, have green foliage, wants to dance in the sun, wants to grow flowers. Just give him opportunity. And don't ask that every flower has to be a rose flower. What about the marigold? There is no way for the marigold to be a rose. It can only be marigold. A right educational system, an educational system which is wise, will not impose standards on people, but rather find ways how a certain person can grow into his own potentiality. If he wanted to be an architect, what was wrong with it? At the most, he may not have created great Taj Mahals, but I don't think that he would not have been able to make your apartments, high-rise buildings. They don't need much intelligence. Absolutely idiotic conductors, constructors are making all kinds of things. They have turned humanity to live into boxes. What Adolf Hitler could have done hard, but rejected from there This continuous rejection, and all his efforts were for creative. He wanted to be a painter or an architect, both are creative dimensions. He may not have gone very long, but what was wrong? Everybody does not want to create a Taj Mahal, and everybody cannot afford a Taj Mahal. There are people who need mediocre architects because they can only afford mediocre architects and their mediocre designs. But continuous rejection from everywhere was like a wound. And it was these wounds that turned him into a politician. The profession of the politician is the only profession where no qualification is needed. It is strange. They have all the power. The power over millions of people's life and death. But no qualification is needed. But if you want a painter, qualifications are needed. If you want an architect, talents are needed. But if you want to become an Adolf Hitler, no qualification is needed. And he took, in my view, the Second World War was nothing but a revenge with the humanity that has rejected the man, humiliated the man, his creativity, his longing to make something beautiful. Second World War was a revenge with vengeance. If you don't allow creativity, it is bound to become destructiveness. If you don't love, you are bound to hate. If you don't allow your good to grow, you are bound to fall into the darkness of evil. Verily, when good is hungry, it seeks food, even in dark caves. Such insight is very rare. Such compassionate understanding is unique. Verily, when good is hungry, when your innermost being wants to be good, but finds no food, no support from anywhere, what you are going to do? It seeks food even in dark caves. And when it thirsts, it drinks even of dead waters. And then you condemn the person that he is evil, that he is a murderer, that he is a thief. You throw the whole responsibility on the person, which is a small human being. And your whole society is so powerful that if it decides to crush the individual and his good, it is capable in every possible way. And it is not unnatural. When you are hungry, you can eat anything. I have known people eating the roots of the trees. Fruits of the trees you eat. But if fruits are not available, when people start eating roots, I have heard that in days of famine, people have even eaten their own children. But I cannot call them evil. People, mothers, have even sold their children because they could not gather the courage to eat their own child. They sold the child, knowing perfectly well it is going to be eaten by somebody else who is purchasing it. But with the money that they have got, they can purchase somebody else's child. Food is not available. Do you call these people evil? Or it is simply that their good has not been given opportunity enough? If you are thirsty in a desert, you can drink anything. Water from gutters. You will not think twice that it is a water from gutters. Life is so valuable. When Alexander the Great came to India, one sannyasin asked him that why you are torturing yourself, running all over the world, wasting your life. What is the purpose? Alexander said, my purpose is to conquer the whole world. The sannyasin said, just can you be patient to answer my one question? If in a desert you are lost, thirsty and hungry for many days, and I come with a glass of water, how much of your empire you will be ready to give in exchange for a glass of water? Nobody has ever asked such a question to him. He said, how much? If I am dying, I can give you half of my empire. He said, but I am not willing to sell for half an empire. Then you can die. I need your full empire, the whole empire, because I am giving you the whole glass of water. Alexander said, perhaps in such a situation, I may be ready to give you the whole empire and take one glass of water. The sannyasin started laughing. He said, then it is better you go home. Don't bother about this empire. Its value is not more than one glass of water. These people, Alexander the Great, are others of his category, are perhaps searching for something else and are not aware. They are searching for greatness. But greatness does not come from acquiring an empire. Greatness comes from becoming your Real self, bringing your potentiality to actualization. It may be a grass flower, it may not be a lotus, but the nature makes no difference. When the sun rises, it does not dance longer on the lotus. It does not ignore a grass flower. Be out of the way. You untouchable, you Sudra. I am here for the lotus flowers, the roses. When the rain comes, it does not make any distinction, any discrimination. When the wind comes, it makes no distinction, no discrimination. The real question is not whether you are a rose or a lotus flower or just an unnamed grass flower. The real thing is that the grass flower has come to actualize its potential. Just as the rose flower has actualized its potential, just as the lotus flower has actualized its potential. The real thing is actualization of the seed that you are carrying within. That makes you great. And the greatness is a tremendous humbleness. No ego in it. If your greatness has something of the ego, that means your greatness is not real actualization. You have fallen into a wrong path. You wanted to be a musician, but you have become an engineer. You may become a very great engineer, but something in you will remain tortured. Your self will remain continuously in a misery. Out of that misery is all evil. You are irritated, you are angry, you are jealous of others. Because you are crippled, you cannot dance, hence your jealousy. But nature has given to you all some unique potentiality. That is your good. To bring it to flowering, to its ultimate growth. And you will be contented, and you will be grateful, and you will be humble before its vast existence. Grateful because it has not sent you empty. It has sent you with some potential to work upon it. You are good when you are one with yourself. None of your religions allows you to do it. Because none of your religion allows you to be one with yourself. They divide you. They say this is good and this is bad. The bad parts should be neglected, ignored, destroyed. And the good parts only should be saved. All the religions have been destructive of human joy, human blissfulness. And it is strange that they have created all kinds of madness, suicides, murders, for the simple reason because people are not allowed to be one with themselves. They have cut you in two parts. It is just like cutting a bird in two parts. It cannot fly. It needs both the wings. When your good and your so-called evil, because it is only an absence, function in harmony, in togetherness, then you are not a split personality, but one organic whole. Your life radiates beauty. Your life radiates godliness. You are good when you are one with yourself. Yet when you are not one with yourself, you are not evil. Khalil Gibran tries to go to the very roots. You are good when you are one with yourself, but don't start thinking that if you are not one with yourself, you are evil. No. When you are not one with yourself, you are simply absence of good. Don't call it evil. That very word unnecessary condemns. When the house is dark, it only smells. Light is needed. Don't condemn darkness. A man of understanding will even enjoy darkness too. Because darkness has its own beauty, its own silence, its own depth, which no light can have. Light is superficial. In darkness, this small place becomes enormous. Because the darkness has no end. In light, everything becomes limited, separate. In darkness, everything becomes one. The wise man is one who tries even to make his so-called evil a symphony which is good. A man is an orchestra. If you don't know the art of music, The orchestra may be maddening, but if you know the art, different instruments of music all combine into one music. They are different, but they create something which is one. And that oneness is what he calls good. For a divided house is not a den of thieves. Even if you are not one, don't condemn yourself. Because even a divided house is not a den of thieves. It is only a divided house. And a ship without rudder may wander aimlessly among perilous isles, yet sink not to the bottom. The evil person is just lost his way. Be kind, not judgmental. And one who has lost his way can find his way. You are good when you strive to give of yourself. He has defined good to be one with yourself. Now he expands the definition. You are good when you strive to give of yourself. Share yourself, whatever you have. It may be a song. It may be just silence. Share whatever you have. The more you share, the more your consciousness becomes bigger, grows, expands. And the expansion of consciousness is the most blissful experience in the world. Yet you are not evil when you seek gain for yourself. He continuously insists that drop the idea of evil completely, because your minds have been conditioned for centuries only to think in duality. If to be one with oneself is good, then of course not to be one is evil. If to share is good, then not to share, immediately your mind says is evil. Khalil Gibran's effort is of tremendous value. He is saying, yet you are not evil when you seek gain for yourself. Because unless you seek gain for yourself, how you can share what you can share? A Gautam Buddha can share, but before sharing, he has to become a Gautam Buddha. Christian theologians have been very critical about Indian mystics, that they are selfish. In their eyes, just to meditate is selfishness. Go and serve the poor. Open a hospital. Open a school. Teach the poor. Become a Mother Teresa. That's why you see, Mother Teresa can get a Nobel Prize, but a meditator has no chances ever. Because a meditator is a selfish person. He is just going into himself and enjoying blissfulness and benediction and ecstasy. Serve the poor. Serve the orphans. That seems to be real religion. It is not. Because if you do not have the benediction that meditation brings to you, all your service is very superficial, and there must be motivations in it which may not be apparent to ordinary people, but one who looks deep can see them immediately. Mother Teresa is serving orphans on the one hand. On the other hand, she is against birth control. Because if birth control is there, orphans will not be there. Orphans are absolutely needed. Otherwise, how Mother Teresa will get a Nobel Prize? Orphans are absolutely needed. Otherwise, how Catholics will go on increasing their number? Already they are 700 million. From where they go on increasing their number? Because in the West, richer countries are no more growing their numbers as they are doing in the East. In fact, in few Western countries, population is decreasing. Even few countries are trying to give incentives to create more children. Otherwise, they will disappear. If this way of decreasement continues, they will disappear. In the East, the problem is just the opposite. So all these 700 million Catholics come from the poor and the orphans of the East. The East is almost like a factory for Catholics. You produce children and you cannot support them, give them to Mother Teresa. The Pope comes to India, but he does not go to meet any great meditator in the Himalayas. No Pope has ever tried to meet J. Krishnamurti, who was in the West. On the contrary, Popes have been trying in the past the same strategy that they are trying with me now. So many times J. Krishnamurti's aeroplane was returned back from the airport because Catholics won't let him get down. No Pope has come to see Ramakrishna. No Pope has come to see Raman Maharishi. In their eyes, these people are selfish people. But every Pope who comes must go to Mother Teresa, because she goes on gathering more and more Catholics. Inner motives are very ugly. It is not service, it is politics. It is politics of numbers. Khalil Gibran is right, that yet you are not evil when you seek gain for yourself. In fact, first you must seek gain for yourself in all dimensions, material and spiritual. Only when you are richer in all dimensions, you can share. So I cannot say with Jesus that blessed are the poor. That is nothing but consolation. And I agree more with Karl Marx, who says that your religions are nothing but opium for the people. Blessed are the poor, for they shall inherit the kingdom of God. It's strange. If they are blessed, why they don't get the kingdom of God here and now? No, their kingdom of God is after death. This is sheer cunningness, because nobody comes back after death and tells to people that poor are really blessed. I say to you, blessed are those who are rich in all dimensions, material and spiritual, for they shall be able to share their riches. Why bring unnecessarily God into everything? The poor fellow has escaped. After 6 days he made this world, since he has not been seen, has not been heard. Why bring him unnecessarily in? I say, blessed are those who are rich in all dimensions, for they shall be able to share their riches. They may be of the soul, they may be of the body, they may be of the mind, they may be of the heart, it doesn't matter. But sharing is one of the most beautiful experiences of life. It is sharing that makes you religious. It does not make you a Christian or a Hindu or a Mohammedan. It simply makes you religious. And to be religious is beautiful. To be Christian, to be Hindu, to be Mohammedan, to be Jew, these are ugly names which should be discarded completely and forgotten. They divide humanity, and they give ideas to people that you are superior to others. Jews think they are the chosen people of God. So why you are angry with Adolf Hitler? Because he thinks Nordic Germans are the chosen people of God. Because of this conflict, who is really the chosen people of God? He killed 1 million Jews in Germany to prove that who is the chosen people of God. Now let us decide it. And if we look at the facts, it seems Nordic Germans are the chosen people of God. I have heard about one old Jew who was dying. The rabbi came and asked him, "Have you prayed to God before your death? The death is very close." He said, "I am praying." He said, "What you are praying?" He said, "I am praying that it is enough. Now you should choose somebody else." We have been tortured for 4,000 years just because of your stupid idea that we are the chosen people of God. And you have not given a single indication that we are the chosen people of God. But this idea of superiority created antagonism into everybody. Hindus think the same way. Everybody has a monopoly over God. It is better not to bring unnecessary hypotheses when it is a question of a transformation of your real life. For when you strive for gain, you are but a root that clings to the earth and sucks at her breast. His beauty of words is impeccable. He is saying, when you are selfish, meditative, just trying to unfold your own being, you are like the roots of a tree which sucks at the breast of the Mother Earth. But for what? All that juice will rise in the tree, will become green foliage, shadow for the tired and the weary, will become flowers for those who can appreciate beauty, color, fragrance, will become fruits for those who are hungry. The root is sucking at the breast of the Mother Earth, not for itself. The ultimate outcome is going to be shared. So when you are meditating, you are going to your own roots. And unless you find your roots, you will never be able to find your flowers and your fruits. The roots cannot be shared, but without roots there are no fruits and no flowers. In fact, flowers and fruits are just extensions of roots. Don't call roots evil because they don't share. Directly they don't share, but indirectly Their whole life is nothing but bringing juice to the fruits, to the flowers, to be shared by all. Surely the fruit cannot say to the root, be like me, ripe and full and ever giving of your abundance. Why the fruit cannot say so? It cannot say so because far to the fruit, giving is a need as receiving is a need to the root. Life is an organic unity. If there is only giving and no receiving, whom you are going to give? If there are only receivers and no givers, from whom they are going to receive? Life is a balance between giving and receiving. The roots receive from the earth, and fruits and flowers go on giving back to the earth. It is a circle. Man in his ignorance has broken that circle many places. That's why there is a great ecological crisis. We go on taking from the earth, but we don't return anything. The earth slowly becomes barren. Dead. And if the earth is dying, something of us is dying also, because we are part of it. Do you think that the trees depend on the earth because they have roots and they suck the juice of the earth? You also depend on the earth. Because those fruits, those flowers ultimately come to you. And you must share. You are trees who can walk. There are trees in Africa which walk. Because for walking, solid earth is difficult. The roots are not in a position to move. But there are places in Africa where the earth is not so solid. There trees move. If the water is towards the north more, the trees start moving towards the north. And when the water is finished, then the trees start dispersing to other directions. We are also trees. We are also connected with existence in many ways. Every second you are breathing in and out. Just try not to breathe out, because that is sharing. And you will be dead. Sharing is life. These trees are also breathing. And life is such a beautiful unity that you breathe oxygen and exhale carbon dioxide. The trees breathe carbon dioxide and exhale oxygen. There is a kind of brotherhood. Without trees, you cannot live. Without you, trees cannot live. There is a constant giving, receiving. The sun goes on giving you life, vitamins. The moon goes on giving you something that is very mysterious. Because except Mahavira, all the mystics of the world have become enlightened on the full moon night. On the full moon night, more people go mad. The number is double than any other day. More people commit suicide, again the number is double than any other day. More people commit murders, the number is double than any other day. Full moon night has something to do. From enlightenment to murder, but the full moon night somehow stirs you. If you are going deeper into meditation, it takes you deeper into meditation. If you are hankering to kill somebody and you are not able to gather courage, it gives you courage. So what was not possible before becomes possible on the full moon night. For centuries, people have gone mad more on full moon night, so much so that in every language, for madness or mad people, a word exists which connects madness with moon. In English, it is lunatic. It comes from lunar. Lunar means the moon. In Hindi, it is Chandmara, killed by the moon. George Gurdjieff had a great insight that it cannot be one-sided. Just as with the trees we receive and give, we must be giving to the sun and receiving, to the moon and receiving. It has to be balanced. We have not been yet able to decipher exactly what we give to the sun, what we give to the moon. But we must be giving, because what we receive we know. Sooner or later it will be discovered. Just as we cannot live without the sun, if one day sun does not arise, you will not wake up. Not even for the bad tea. You are finished. Your life is coming from that faraway star sun. But I always think, and I agree with Gurdjieff, although there is no evidence and no proof, that if every man on the earth, every animal, every tree dies, for which people like Ronald Reagan are making every effort, if everything alive on the earth dies, sun will not rise the next day. Because it is impossible that we are only just receivers and not givers. If we are receiving life in some way from the sun, we must be giving life in some way to the sun. We are all a connected whole, interrelated, one organism. Hence, it can be said as a conclusion, become richer in every dimension. Be creative, be loving, be meditative, and share. And the more you will share, the more existence will shower on you flowers of blissfulness and ecstasy. The only good is to be in a position of oneness, so that you are not in a constant conflict within yourself. Because that conflict destroys you, leaves no energy to be shared. When you are one, the energy becomes so much. You become almost like a rain cloud, so full of rain that it wants to shower somewhere or other. Sharing is the most precious religious experience. Sharing is good. And Al-Mustafa says, I will not speak about the evil, because evil is only an absence. To be miserly is evil. You have and you grab it, whether you need it or not. You have missed the greatest joy of life, that of giving. Receive with gratitude, give with humbleness.
Yes, Bhagavan.